The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hello there, Nashua, New Hampshire. The Happiness Jungle is brought to you with Chief Happiness Officer Lyn-Dee Eldridge. I am so excited to be able to sit here with a very good friend of mine. We were just sharing that we know each other for 12 years. Tom,
12
years. Oh, my goodness. Tom Nicoli is one of my, well, he's influenced my life a great deal. He's a famous hypnotist. We're going to go over some of his other credibilities. He's a life coach. But what he does is he really brings great value to everybody in the most happiest ways for a really great alternative and a happy solution for tomorrow. That energizes me. That's why you're here. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation, Tom.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Man, I feel like I've been given the greatest gift of gifts today. So how about that? How have you been?
As the word goes better.
As the word goes better.
But these stumbles that I've had that you're aware of,
Yeah.
just as I say, allow me to soar higher so I can continue to inspire.
Thank you. Yeah, because no matter what life brings us, it's going to come.
Lessons.
Lessons learned, right? Yeah, powerful. We talk about mindset a lot. And you and I, over the years, have contributed to a conversation when it comes to mindset. Mindset change, we discussed that. In your professional opinion, happiest mindset is what we want to discover today.
Okay.
Share with me, because you know so much about what goes on intellectually in our minds and in our souls, behind the skins. Share with me. There are so many people out there that are lost. And let me just share with you, the Happiness Jungle only works with happy people. We just have stress.
Right.
We just have things going on.
Right.
So I'm not talking about the depressed person that's trying to get out of it. That's for psychiatrists and psychologists to deal with. You and I want to talk about and be around happy people to bring more happiness into their lives. That's what I want to touch on. Share with me the mindset of somebody that's happy but just dealing with stress, dealing with a habit, a bad habit, whatever. Share with me. How do you help them? Because I know you do it really well.
Well, simple question, but very complex in its answer. And I would first start out by saying those people who are stressed or worried or whatever we want to apply as a word aren't in the happy moment. So they're not really happy people if they allow these pressures and thoughts and concerns that become worries into their life, are they? Because that right there goes and flips the coin to the other side that we don't want to be on. Though it's not as if we're looking to be happy all the time, because if somebody was happy all the time, I'd be suspect.
Amen.
I really would.
That's right.
You know, we have emotions for a reason. But the bottom line to how I start getting people to a happier or a calmer or clearer or more content emotional and mental state is in removal. You know, it's the same thing whether I'm consulting people with marketing and websites, or if I'm working with an individual in order to get to the place where they want to get to, which is already inside of us.
Right.
And I've learned over my 20-plus year career, it's not about adding anything to anyone. It would be like saying whatever word we apply to universal intelligence, there are many words people apply, that there was a mistake made when all of this was formed. But I believe that there were no mistakes made. So, like my work with Master Visionary is about reconnecting people to the visionary already within. So this visionary that we are, this happiness ability we have, I believe is the most natural state. I mean, how many kids are Eeyore the donkey?
Right.
We're doomed, we'll never make it. Kids aren't really like that. It's a learned behavior, but naturally, I believe that we are able to connect to what we call happiness very easily, right? So it's about, well, what is in the way from here where we begin, and then what we become, because what we become is not who we are.
Right.
What we become is a conditioned process, a learned process, and all of that, right? And I found that my work is in getting everything away, getting everything out, and reframing people back to the simplicity and to reconnect. So it's like, here's the child. That's why all this inner child work is done so much, right? Because that's who we really are.
That's right.
I mean, does a child ever say, oh, I can't do that? No, we'll say, honey, you're going to kill yourself. You can't do that. They're like, I can do that. So the confidence is there. It's natural, or we'd never learn to do anything. And the happiness of accomplishment and achievement of, look what I can do. That's a natural feeling within us that we connect to very easily. And it's a high vibration up there with love, and then it's achievement and accomplishment and all these moments of pride. And we're excited, we're happy, we're fulfilled, we're everything we are naturally.
Right.
So then my work is in all of that stuff in between where you are and where you want to reconnect to, that is just waiting for you. So it's not learning anything new.
Right.
Like I say this a lot. What you knew is what you need to know, but it's what you already knew, especially when you were new, but it can feel new again.
Right. Oh, I love that.
You see?
Wow. Say it again, because that was powerful.
What you, see, when I have to think, I can't come up with this stuff. So what you want to know is what you already knew, especially when you were new, but it can feel new again.
Powerful.
You know what I'm saying?
That was great. Yeah.
So it's more about removal than adding. It isn't about adding anything.
Right.
We have within us the chemical factory needed. People just don't know how to access the ability to affect even brain chemistry and cellular response, which is all proven fact.
Right.
And we have abilities to do things quickly, simply, and easily, but it's everything we've downloaded throughout our lives that have messed up with the programming within.
How do you feel about reactions? Because you're absolutely right. And I tell people that all the time. People look at me like sometimes I'm drinking some kind of fairy dust. And I tell them, I've got stresses. If you all knew what was in my life.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. It's how we react. It's how we deal with situations. It's how we understand control or being controlled. So share with us the mindset. Why are there people out there that allow a situation to take them, boom, when they can't even do anything about it until 5 hours later?
Okay.
Share with us that, because I really want people to understand, don't carry this crap with you until it needs to be taken out of the closet. That's why I'm happy and why I'm able to be happy. Because when something is brought to my attention, I know when to deal with it, how to deal with it. When I've done what I could do, then my mind goes, okay, this needs to be put aside, readjust, and then move forward to have a more productive day.
Sure. I think part of the biggest part of the problem is the word you used, and the people like to be in control. We're not in control at all. People like to think they are. But I ask them to stop breathing. I can't. I tried, but I'm forced to breathe. That's what's in control. There's something within you, call it many things, that is in control. And though there are three parts of mind that we speak of, conscious, subconscious, and unconscious, let's use subconscious and unconscious interchangeably. So there's thinking conscious mind, analytical, logical, extremely limited. The most limited part of us, because that is not how nature, or we, part of nature, function. We do not function on logic, okay? But the brain and conscious thinking is set up this way, which has its part, you know, there's a place for that. But the part in control, so think of your conscious mind as the keyboard. You type a command, that's what I want to do. Oop, error. I used to be able to do that, but somewhere along the way, something happened where a piece of information was downloaded to the hard drive, the subconscious, and it just follows whatever's on it. Though there's primal programming on there, like survival, the most primal programming we have, right? But then there's everything else that comes along, and when people start to understand a very complex situation in this simplistic way, my conscious thinking mind's the keyboard, My subconscious is the hard drive, but there's a way to interact with it. So the metaphor is the genie that said, your wish is my command. So every thought we have, it doesn't know it's not a wish. Why are you thinking it? It's going to have an effect, an absolute direct effect on what's going on subconsciously. And it says, okay, that's what you want. That's what it gives you. So what happens is people get involved in situations. There's so much to this. One part of it is they lack faith, trust, or belief. And maybe those three words in this case mean the same exact thing. Where they don't believe, they don't trust, they don't have enough faith in something transpiring or some help coming along or just putting themselves in action in what I call fail forward fast. Meaning you apply whatever you do or learn or whatever thought you have, and then you tweak it as you go. Because if you don't apply this, how do you know what to do next? Right? So we are in paralysis through analysis, as they say. So we think ahead so many steps. And I'm a 5 ahead thinker. I'm a chess thinker, right? But I also know, let it go now. Like you said, start to take action, work on what you can, and trust or believe or have faith in. Everything else will eventually get worked out, or you'll get to that time when that will be worked out. But it's letting go. You know, again, it's removal, right? It's letting go of, I can't control everything. I can interact with the part in control. And the best thing I can do is to have a clear and calm mind in order to have an effective mind. So whatever thoughts I could have about something won't come to me if I'm tight and blocking it. So that's a key component right there, is to allow a calmer approach. So it's not what happens in life, it's how we deal with it. But now we go to habit. So I say to people, they'll say so many things to me, my clients. I'll say, how about accepting it like this? You're in a habitual emotional response. So, no, I respond this way, so I'm angry, or I'm depressed, or I am whatever the blank they want to fill in. No, you're in an emotional habitual response. So you respond habitually, and then afterward think, what the heck was that all about? Why did I even say that? Instead of, in the moment, being aware. So a pause is really effective, and I know you've applied this yourself. You feel the feeling coming on. Pause for a moment. You have to count to 10 even. Just pause for a moment, and you can change your whole approach and your whole direction, right? So it's one, having concern, but never having stress. Knowing you can be concerned about something to draw your attention to a matter. But as far as everything else goes, leave it alone. I mean, it's a short version, but there's this old story about a king who summoned his jeweler, and he said he wanted a ring with an inscription. And this inscription would change his attitude about anything that could ever happen in his life. That's a pretty big task, right?
Wow.
Jeweler came back, had a beautiful ring. The inside was inscribed, and this too shall pass. So that's the thing, isn't it?
It is.
Everything is going to pass. So when you realize everything's temporary, some things may become permanent, but most things are temporary, and whatever becomes permanent, then we have to go now to another part, acceptance.
Yeah. Oh, that's a hard one.
Man,
that's a hard one, isn't it?
Once you start realizing that you don't change this river of life, you don't change the bank, you don't change the white rocks or the white water in the rocks, you don't change the current, and people try to do that in life.
Right.
They try to control
Yes.
everything rather than interacting with what happens and where they're brought and where this thing leads them. So it's more of acceptance, interaction, and patience. There's another component. If this is going to pass, well, I need to be patient enough and interactive while I'm patient to get to a better outcome. Or stay there and struggle and fight and struggle and fight.
It's the enemy circle. It's you're like, oh, yeah. And that's the easy place.
Well,
that's the surrender.
But is it, right?
No, it's not. But people think it is. Yeah. Well, surrender will deal with it. What is that?
Well, it's a lack of knowing other options, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And that's where you come into play.
Exactly. You know, my tagline used to be, why my clients say, I wish I knew this sooner. I even have psychiatrists, psychologists as clients, because they know there's a better and a different way. They just haven't learned it yet.
You know, I wanna touch on that, because people sometimes say, oh, I wish I didn't go through that. I wish I didn't. But if you didn't go through that, then who would you be? That's
part of acceptance, isn't it?
Yes.
Acceptance is part of, like for instance, my left eye is all messed up, right? 3.5 years ago, I tripped at home.
I remember that.
Fell face first with a glass in my hand, and the stem went through my eye and almost into my brain. I had such acceptance that when the doctor was telling me at Mass Eye and Air that they have to operate, I said, yeah, okay, finally you leave me alone and I can sleep. He goes, oh, you're going to sleep. He said, but we have to talk. You're not going to see out of that eye. And I kind of got a sense of that already. So he said, you can drive legally, and people even fly planes with one eye. And I said, well, that's great. He said, why? I said, because I can't fly one now. So he said to me, you're going to be fine. Because what is that going to do about it?
Yeah.
Freak out over it, get angry about it, be upset about it? No, I'm already upset enough, or I already feel less than enough. Why do I want to add to that? And then last July, I didn't know what happened. I woke up severely sick over a course of 4 or 5 days, and I ended up having the left side of my face collapse. It was Bell's palsy. There's still a little bit of lingering effect there. But what I look for always, and I help my clients do this, is the why. People always go, why did this happen to me? Why not?
Right.
Well, the why, the first why is whenever something happens to an individual, it's a perfect opportunity to come back to you. It's going to now be all about you. And by the way, all of your life is about you. No matter how generous or kind and compassionate we are.
That's right.
Bottom line is like, all right, Lyn-Dee, look, I got my own life too, you know?
Right.
And you're like, well, wow, where'd that come from? Because eventually we're all going to say that.
Yes.
Some people say too late, and then they complain about all the things they allowed, because
Right.
people can only do what we allow.
But is it ever too late to start?
No, it's never too late to start,
that's
is
exactly
it?
what I want people to
Never.
understand. Never, ever, 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 ever is it too late to have a new beginning.
So why wait for something to happen for the universe to say, hey, psst, you better get back to you.
Right.
Focus on you in your life and where you going. What are you doing?
Uh-huh.
There's a saying, a smart person learns from their mistakes, a wise person learns from other people's mistakes. Be wise.
Be wise.
Just come back to yourself and find this balance between self and others, and you'll even increase your ability to find happiness because you won't be squawking about, what about me?
Right.
You're over 21, do whatever you want.
Right. And I also believe that people need to get into a newer circle where nobody knows their name, like the good old show, Cheers, right?
Uh-huh.
What a beautiful way to start a new beginning. You're not running from your past.
Nope.
You're not saying it didn't exist.
You're improving it.
You're improving it.
Editing.
You're editing.
I call it clear out your personal Rolodex.
Ooh.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
When people understand the circle of influence, the 5 people that you're closest to, and I don't mean emotionally, but that you spend the most time around, we become the average of the sum of those 5 people. Add up their wit, their finances, their intellect, everything about them, their integrity. You become the average. Divide that by 5, you're it.
Right.
So what becomes very, very important, I knew this as a young musician. When I was a young teenager, I learned this, that I started wanting to play with people way better than me. And I didn't realize this was the circle of influence. And all of a sudden, my game changed.
Isn't that crazy?
So I was playing with guys in their 20s and 30s when I was 15, and all of a sudden, I got that much better faster. So we have to look at who we're around. And people go, well, we've known him for 30 years. So?
Right.
Is that a good reason? So we need to clear out our personal Rolodex. We need to become very selective with whom we allow ourselves to be around.
Right.
Like I said earlier before we got on camera about my birthday party I'm hosting in a week, or not quite a week.
I'm invited.
And I am extremely selective. There were people coming from Maine and Connecticut and Rhode Island, but that's because the 150 people I could get, locally from the Boston area where I grew up, no. No. It isn't just anybody, everybody, just because I know them. You become very selective, or you're the one that's inviting in your misery or your tension or your arguments, or be selective.
That's you just said probably one of the most fantastic acts of moving forward that I've heard of in a long time.
People are weight.
People are weight.
Why are you carrying all that weight?
And why does the list have to be so long?
Conditioning, belief systems. It just gets so deep, right?
It really does.
So we have to start fresh,
Yeah.
and then realize that you can reinvent yourself at any moment of every day. It's not just every day is an opportunity.
Right.
If you had a shitty morning, well, this afternoon you can say, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm choosing. I'm going to be selective. I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to use this free will I was given at birth, not to override my instincts and intuition, because it doesn't seem to make sense and there's no logic to what I'm feeling, though I always wish I did follow it. That's what people do, right? Which is curious as hell. 30,000 times later, you go, I should have got my first thought. So it's realizing I can choose to be who I really am at any time. Then we go back to what other people think and
Be authentic.
One of us was sent here. Why are we trying to be something we're not, or something we don't feel is right for us? It took me a while to get to that point. When I did, my life changed.
Yeah, and
totally changed.
Always have an outlet. Your outlet is you sing and you play the guitar so beautifully. I'm jealous.
Thank you, but that is one outlet. Sure. I'm very, very blessed to, along the way, after staying awake 20 hours a day, working 3 jobs, trying to get ahead, from blue-collar, triple-decker mentality, to living a life where everything I do, I would do for nothing. That I'm that blessed.
Fabulous.
But proactive, selective, and finally, at some point, just saying, okay, what do I believe and why do I believe it? Are they my beliefs? And start, again, removing. Remember in the beginning, I said about removing and taking things away. So that's where we begin. We start taking away some of these belief systems that really aren't ours.
Right.
That we adopted along the way. And maybe they were from family. Maybe they were from society. Maybe they're from your religion. Maybe they're from whatever. But we need to constantly be doing a spring cleaning in this way.
That's so true. People always ask me, are you a psychiatrist? Are you a psychologist? And the answer is absolutely not. I do not just have people lay on a couch and give me a check. That's not what I do. I love to deal with happy people that have a lot of stress in their lives, that are going through just the common stuff that we go through, but we get interactive. I get to help people understand you're going to find your happy place, but we have to declutter you. You're so cluttered right now.
That's the removal part.
Oh my goodness. What you were sharing with us, 100% a must. The other thing that I want to touch on, we're coming close to the close of the show, is the procrastinator.
Now it goes even deeper.
The woe's me. It's never going to happen to me. Maybe tomorrow. Heck no. Talk about the happiness of the procrastinator, changing that mindset, because all procrastination is a thief of time. A thief of time.
Well, 2 parts. Most of the people I work with, not most, but a lot of them are professionals, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say, well, you've been to time management programs. Oh, yeah, took the course. So I'll take off my watch and I go, here you go. Hey, I want you to manage the time. They just look at me. I go, go ahead, manage it. They're like, well, what do I do? I go, that's exactly right. You cannot manage time, first of all, right? So procrastinating is just allowing that thing to keep ticking away, which is your life, and the time we seek. Because we're always looking for more time, but yet what are we doing with our time? So we manage our tasks. We become proactive. We take action quicker than thinking. The thinking is making the mountain out of a molehill.
Right.
Or Einstein said, whatever you focus on expands. So number one, put your focus and attention on what it is you want to accomplish. So your mind is now geared toward that. Secondly, realize and know that it isn't just a matter of people thinking, well, I'm putting it off only because I'm not in the mood. There's something much deeper.
Right.
This is so common, and I'm not saying it's for everybody.
Right.
But when people don't do the things that they believe would help them, make them feel better, even bring in some money.
Right.
It could be a lack of feeling worthy and deserving. So it's a subconscious saboteur. So what's happening is the person's being sabotaged at the subconscious level because in their belief system that is stored there, they don't believe that they're worthy or deserving to receive, have, or become whatever it is they truly sense and feel.
Boy, can we go on about that one, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But put everything into action. Fail forward fast.
Yeah.
As a musician in the 80s, I was on tour and had done albums and all that stuff, right? And looked a lot different. And when I came back, I said to a buddy of mine, we'll put a band together, we'll make some money, we'll have fun. I mean, it's what we do. You got to be playing. So I got a gig and the guys said, we're not ready. I go, we were ready when I called you even to see if you wanted to be in this band. We already know how to do this.
Right.
But we're going to get so good in here, and then we're going to go on that first stage, and it's not going to sound the same. So we're going to go out and get tight as we're moving forward. And this is what everyone should do in business and in relationships, and just move forward. And that's why there's version 2.1 and 3.2 and 4.1 and 5.0.
Right.
Because you tweak and improve. I new and improved. You tweak and improve as you put it into action. Action's the catalyst, right?
I love it. I love it. So, Tom, we're coming to a short close. First of all, please accept this heart, because I give those out all over the world.
Thank you.
You know, and I've probably given you one over the years. But
the nice big padded one that I had when I spoke before at the salon.
That's
Remember that
exactly
heart?
Right. Yes, I do. See what
I
I'm
still
saying?
have that, yeah.
Oh, my God. And that was how many years ago?
This is great. Oh, gosh, 5 or 6.
A while ago. So those hearts symbolize good energy.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Fiddle
right near my heart.
I love that. I love that. And the other thing that I want to do, play a game with me real quick. Okay, and then we're going to tell people how they get a hold of you.
Let's play.
This is called my spontaneous power of topic.
Okay.
We're going to pick a topic, and then you're going to go ahead and relate it within 30 seconds, how people could benefit from it within their mind. Understood?
I think so.
In your topic, go ahead and pick one.
Just pick
one. Okay. What does it say?
Knee-jerk reaction.
Give us a 30-second aha, how not to have knee-jerk reactions within the mindset.
Every time you feel a spontaneous, an automatic, a habitual, a knee-jerk reaction to anything, immediately stop and pause as if you had to catch your breath or you're going to choke or cough. And at that moment, have a slight, quick assessment. Is this what I really want to do? I always ask this question, have people ask this question, is that going to help me or hurt me?
Darn. How do people get a hold of you, Tom?
Well, they can go to mastervisionary.com, and they can contact me through that website, and it's about consulting and coaching on a personal or professional level.
Wow. I am super excited about today's show. Tom, I could not thank you enough.
This was great. I just hope that people take what we shared and start applying it so they know what they may need to apply next. You can't find out the second thing if you haven't tried the first thing.
How true,
and I will
how
come
true.
back anytime you ask.
Thank you so, so much. The Happiness Jungle wants to close off with this. Keep your mind clear and free and know how to move forward. And if you're stuck, go visit Tom's website, because it has some amazing stuff for you to move forward. With that, everybody, I also want to thank the guys that are in back of Nashua, Access Nashua TV. They are absolutely wonderful. Go out and appreciate everybody in your life, because you never know from one minute to the next who's going to come in and change it. So thank you very, very much, world.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.